Now let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Play ball!
Chelsea has agreed to sign DELAP from Ipswich Town. The striker will move to Chelsea to Stamford Bridge for £30 million. That is his release clause when Ipswich was relegated last season. Chelsea have been making moves in this transfer window. So today we are going to talk about incomings for Chelsea and hopefully maybe outgoings for Chelsea, because a couple of players will leave Chelsea this season. Okay, Chelsea are a club that won the Conference League. They have qualified for the Champions League, so they need that boost. Everybody knows that Jackson cannot lead that line to glory. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that Jackson is not a player that can give you 25 goals, Premier League goals a season. You need an upgrade. But the question that they are going to buy DELAP, is DELAP an upgrade to Jackson?
I wouldn't say DELAP is an upgrade to Jackson, but I will say it in another way. DELAP has scored 16 goals so far this season. I think that should be double Jackson's output in the Premier League. And doing that with Ipswich Town means that if he has better quality supply, a better team, better setup around him, more quality players, he could do more. Potential.
Yeah, that's the potential.
And then the bottom line is also that DELAP is a player that fits Chelsea mode of transfers because he's under 20, I think he's 21,
yeah, under 25.
So
yes.
He's under 25. He fits
I know they like giving people 8 years contract.
Yeah, the guy 9 years contract.
Everybody's talking about the mode of play, the style of play, the philosophical talk. Because you look at this man under McKenna, it took him a certain style of play, made a certain style of play to favor the striker from scoring goal. You see, like the likes of Enciso supplying him. You see everybody supplying him. At Chelsea is going to have that kind of supply. But is he an upgrade to Jackson? Is yet to be seen.
That's
because
the problem.
Teams have a way of swallowing you as the player. You get, there are some teams you come into and you're like, oh, I was the best player in my team. But when you come into this team, you're like, nothing.
And he's a young player.
You get, so in coming to Chelsea now, you're not going to start judging him by first season. So is he going to fit into this Chelsea side? Maybe not. Is he an upgrade to Jackson? Definitely not.
So yes, he's an upgrade to Jackson.
Is he an upgrade to Jackson? Definitely not.
Yes,
if you are saying he's not an upgrade to Jackson, that means Chelsea is not getting it right in this transfer market because they need an upgrade.
The thing is, as Chelsea is now, the manager has come in, he said he wants to build. Now, building, you don't start building from the roof, you start from the ground. If you're going to buy young players with prospects, then fine. And I think the board, Todd Bowley, has been doing that for a very long time now.
Yeah,
buying young players with prospects. Many of those prospects have come in to deliver. The likes of Cole Palmer's, which I hate to say, but the likes of Cole Palmer, the likes of Wesley Fofana, the defender, the likes of some other young players on the side. You see the other guy at McGay, they brought him from Jackson. You could see the energy, the hunger in him to impress the coach, or perhaps you see those young players. The Moise Caicedo, he has already, the $100 million they paid for him, he's already outplayed it. In short, they're supposed to even give him change. They're supposed to give him extra money now or give Brighton. Enzo, he's outplayed his wages. So these players, young players with potential, have come in and they've shown up.
So adding
DELAP is another young player with potential, not a finished product. So upgrade now when you don't get finished product. You get maybe upgrade.
Makes sense like
but
that.
if not be finished product, now still prospect. So he is not better than Jackson. So that's why I stand with what I said, that he is not an upgrade to Jackson. He is still in the mode of let's continue to build as a family.
Okay, if you're talking about it's not an upgrade, that means they are both based similar players. That means probably 15 goal strikers.
15
like
goals
that.
a season striker. And Chelsea needs
I would like to see,
30 goals a season.
See Jackson score 15 goals a season.
He has done it.
I mean, even if you have not scored, I mean, within that range. If you within that range to from 18 down to 17 down,
10 to 15
goal, that kind of
10 to 15 goal avenue kind of striker.
Like for Man City, they have a 30 and officially a 25 goal striker in their team, but just doesn't have that. Bringing in
and they have two.
Bringing down DELAP is going to be an interesting one. Is it an upgrade to Jackson? Drop your comments on the comment section. What do you think that if it's a DELAP, or do you think that Chelsea needs to buy another striker? Because especially Nigerian Chelsea fans, they want to see me.
Of course.
Because I don't know why Chelsea is not looking for Sime. He has the highest goal scorer in Turkey. He is doing well. He did well with Napoli, but somehow nobody is looking for him as at now. And Chelsea have already decided to go and buy DELAP. If they are going to buy another top striker, maybe either they move Jackson to the wings or they sell him. But it's yet to see.
I don't think they are going to move Jackson to the wings. Like I said, Chelsea going for another striker after acquiring DELAP could be a shift in tactics.
Maybe.
It could be a shift to the 4-4-2 that they've always played prior to now. And it could be another shift. Or let me say, it could be a precursor move to an upgrade. Like as we are having this conversation now, GU is being offered a loan spell
to
somewhere
Ipswich,
else.
to
Yes,
Ipswich Town. I saw the news.
and that means he's going to be out. We don't know. Let's say what's his name now? Jackson is going to be moved to the bench. You are going to have the space to possibly get a marquee signing in that position. It's not if they are going to pull it off. If not, that means GU will stay as a backup to these two guys up front.
But let's see what happens with Chelsea. Chelsea has agreed. They have officially agreed to sign DELAP from Ipswich Town. £30 million. He's going to move to Stamford Bridge. Hopefully, he's about 21 years, so hopefully he will hit the ground running and start scoring goals for Chelsea. He's a potential. Chelsea is buying into potential. In the past couple of years, they have bought players on potentials and giving them 8 years contract, 9 years contract. So obviously, they are going to give the guy about at least 5 years plus, obviously, because he's 21 years. If they offer him a 5 years contract, he's going to be 26, 27 when that contract expires. So, but let's see what happens. That's only incoming for now for Chelsea. But let's talk about outgoing. Let's start with Sancho. Sancho is a loan player for Chelsea, but he has an obligation. Chelsea has an obligation to buy
£25 million
to buy, but they can decide not to exercise that, but they have to pay
£5 million
back
yes.
to Manchester United. But the issue now, the news now is that if Chelsea will sign Sancho, he has to reduce his salary. He's collecting about 200,000 plus at Manchester United. Chelsea will not play that. But what do you think? Do you think that Chelsea should take the risk and sign him if he decides to take a pay cut?
My candid opinion is pay cut or no pay cut, return him back to Manchester United. That's my candid opinion, because Sancho on that flank, in any side of the flank you want to put him, right? I would rather have an upgrade than a stopgap. Do you know what a stopgap is? You know, you have a wound, but you want to rub water on it and maybe put bandage. You've not treated the wound. You are still in pain.
You know, like Sancho.
Then an
like
upgrade is when
you know, Sancho, you know, like
forget about me liking Man U.
Like
an upgrade is when you go to the hospital, they put GV, spirit, everything. You feel the pain up front, and afterwards you are better off.
Okay, now so what do you make?
I don't want a stopgap. Upgrade.
To stay or to go?
Sancho's situation at Chelsea
Is dicey.
is the one that you will look at the Chelsea fan and be like, are you sure you really want this guy?
Thank you.
That's it has a lot of question mark to it. But the Chelsea fans don't see it. The manager saw it at some point. You know, when he came into Chelsea, he started first game, man of the match performance, assist. First 5 games, 3 assists, 2 goals in the first 5 games. And Chelsea fans were like, after that one,
He comes out, yeah.
Vanished.
so at the end of the season, he starts again because for some don't come. He starts to give you numbers. Blah, blah, blah. How many goals now? Even this last game he scored for the final.
Yes.
You get so last 5 games, man of the match performance. Even Chelsea fans were like, bring in Sanchizi. This man don't have anything. Take off Gusto. Bring in Sanchizi. And they brought him on, and Madueke went to the other side, and things started happening in favor of Chelsea. And they say it was a good sub from the coach, putting him on bench and bringing him in the second half. Good one for them. Clap for them. But as it stands now, Man United don't need him.
Exactly. He cannot even fit in Manchester.
Chelsea wants him to take a pay cut. So which one is important? Do you want to play or you want your money?
You have to choose one.
So it's between Chelsea. Now I'm not talking about it for this Chelsea perspective. Chelsea perspective, we need you.
Yeah, they have.
But we don't have that money to pay you. So you now, as a Sancho human being, you are stuck between the devil and the Red Blue Sea. Are you going to dive in and swim your way out of trouble, take a pay cut? Because Man United is not going to even
no hope there, no hope for
Man. Are you going to dive into the Chelsea side, take a pay cut and dive into the Chelsea side and continue to enjoy football?
The question is, how many people at Chelsea are on better paychecks than him, and why can't Chelsea afford to pay the 250 upfront right now? Because
they don't want
you remember last season they let go Chilwell, they let go what's his name, Lukaku, 350. How many people at that club right now are still on
Chilwell are still there.
I know, loan, but
Sterling
somebody is covering parts.
Yeah.
Sterling.
But he has to decide where he's going, what he's going to do, if he's going to take a pay cut. He will not blame Man United. They bought him as a superstar. They need to offer him that money.
Yes.
But for Chelsea, he's not a superstar again. He's trying
He's not a superstar.
He's trying to revive his
He's
career.
not a superstar.
He's a star man.
He's a bang average player.
He's not.
He's trying
He's a star player.
The only reason you would give me for Sancho staying back and maintaining his salary at Chelsea is if they are able to get Sterling off their books, get Chilwell off their books, get a couple of these players
even
off
if
their
they
books.
get everybody off their book, they want him to take a pay cut. They cannot be a big part player and be one of the highest earners in the team. Doesn't make
He's
sense.
not a big part player. He starts
He's a
for
big part
Chelsea.
player. He's not a starter. And if you are not a starter, there is a
If you are
certain
not-
pay
yes.
scale you should be
If you are
on
not-
to show that you are
if
not a starter.
like a Palmer that
Thank
starts
you.
all the time, there is no way you should be.
Bro,
in
he
the
starts, so now injury put him for bench.
But they have to-
Injury or loss of form?
Injury.
Loss of form, bro, not injury.
You have to decide which one you want to do. If you want to take a pay cut to stay at Chelsea, or go back to Manchester United and maybe probably look for another club that will pay him.
Simple.
his
Or go
wages.
back to Dortmund.
But let's see what happens with him. The other player that will leave Chelsea is nkunku, and obviously Joao Felix. Both of them will leave after an underperformed. I don't even know how to explain their both of them at that club, especially for Felix. Both of them will just leave Chelsea this
No,
season.
Joao Felix is coming back to Chelsea to come and fight for his place. Truth be told, he's
Fight
coming to
for
come
which
and fight for
place?
his place
No,
at the
Nkunku will
Chelsea.
leave. Nkunku will
Nkunku is definitely leaving because you sign him under a manager and you leave. I want this player, and you say, okay, you're signing him for me, and you leave him there on loan for extra 1 year. And when he comes in, I'm out of the job. By the time he comes in himself, I'm out of the job. The new manager have already changed the system, and the other one that came after him is already trying to see if he can balance the system because he came in, did well, and look at how he ended up. So the manager that wanted him did not get him. Now the manager he came under is not the manager that needed him. So he just gave him like, okay, let me just test you. Even when he gave 60% of what the manager needed, it was not enough because the manager would have expected 80%. Now because you're giving 30, 60%, you're not up to my quality. So I drop you on the bench.
He's going to leave.
Now definitely
Joao
Enzo
Felix
does not even want him at
probably-
all.
The Joao Felix is obviously going to, if depending, if I don't know anybody that can pay him again or even sign him again, nobody wants him. AC doesn't want him.
Joao Felix is coming back to Chelsea.
Atletico Madrid doesn't want him, so he has to come back at Chelsea, and if he see 5 minutes play, he can go manage him.
Thank you.
But John Nkunku and Joao Felix, they don't actually need them at Chelsea.
For me, it was the biggest mistake of last transfer window. That's
that Joao Felix,
yes,
yes.
summer biggest mistake because
They
didn't need him.
Anyway.
They needed an Osimhen. They needed
Even
him.
Omorodion for
Do you
even five
can you
pass.
imagine that he's on the same pay with this man now, Sancho at that Chelsea, because they brought him in big, they paid good money, and he's on a good salary, so they didn't need him, and they've made that mistake. Now they have to find a way to either make it work so you can serve it, just like Arteta made Havertz playing in the 9 work so you can justify the paycheck, or you move him on. And I think Chelsea need to move Joao Felix on. Unfortunately, nobody is coming.
That's the
so
problem.
you have to just hold it and pray.
Imagine a guy taunted to be Ronaldo's replacement, being the flop of all time.
When he made that move from Benfica to Atletico Madrid, it was about 115 million euros. It was one of the highest paid transfer at that period. Everybody thought he was going to work out at Atletico, but it didn't even work out. He went on a couple of loans and he landed himself at Chelsea, which he went on loan to AC Milan in the second half of the season. But let's see what will happen with him when he comes back to Chelsea in the summer. Chelsea is obviously going to let go of Sterling. Is they going to go of Chilwell? Chilwell is at loan at Crystal Palace. They are going to let most players go. All those senior players that earning big money, they let them go. But for incoming, DELAP is going to move to Chelsea. £30 million for that young boy. 21 years old. He's going to light up Chelsea and help them challenge for title next season, because Chelsea is playing in Champions League, they are playing the FA Cup and the Premier League, so they need to challenge, and Carabao Cup too. They need to challenge all at every competition, so they need the boy to hit the ground running.